Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to check a fresh release from Miniart. It comes in 1/35 scale and it copies G7107 truck, but this time it comes with a full crew, and as you can see, that's a metal body version, so it will be quite an interesting build because basically you get not only the model of the truck but also figures which can help you build a more or less convincing diorama in 1/35 scale. And we have a commercial sample here, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. So we are going to open it right now and check what is actually included inside. So first of all, you can notice that we have quite nice box art here, and box size is standard for this brand. Here is comparison with my hand. You can also notice that it's slightly damaged by our dear post, but I mean, that's a typical stuff we encountered at some point of time. Here you can see also some safety advices and information about manufacturer. Obviously there is a manufacturer address as well, so in case you would like to visit them, that's where you will have to go. And of course on the other side you can see 4 marking options which are included here. Note that there are different colors because we have also this gray version, and frankly speaking I'm not sure where it was used. Maybe it's some captured truck, who knows. So let's open it. It's a top opening box, and here is what we have inside. So all frames are packed into the same plastic bag. You can see the small envelope with the PE parts, and then on the bottom we have also assembly manual, but obviously I'm going to open the plastic bag with plastic parts first so that we can check everything together, and then gradually we will move on to other components. And in the meantime I can also remind you that you can support us with a small donation, so it's quite easy thing to do. You just have to go to our website, find the big red button support DSV, and of course you choose the amount we will get, but all this money will be used in order to purchase a new kit which will be reviewed in our video review. So I will remove this box here, and we are going to start with the components as they were lying in the plastic bag. So as you remember, there was this small envelope with Miniart logo, so I'm going to take out the PE threads. And frankly speaking, it's surprisingly big for such kits, so I'll show it in a second. Let's zoom in, and here you can check all the parts. So we get not only the internal elements, we also get some external parts as well. So that's really cool because it will add some fine features to your model, and in 1/35 scale it will be a noticeable upgrade, so do not underestimate it. And in my opinion, it's worthy inclusion, let's say, especially considering that you don't have to pay anything extra. You get it out of the box as a standard bonus. Next we continue with a sealed plastic bag where we have decals and clear plastic sprues. So again I'm going to cut through it and we will take a closer look together. So just give me a second. And as far as I remember, kit was designed in such way that you can use clear parts without using masks, and that's really cool because as you can see, these clear masks, clear parts, they're quite nice and crisp out of the box, so it's just a matter of careful installation of them on your truck. And then we have also decal sheet which is printed in Decals, so here it is. Maybe I'll close the lenses a bit so that it won't be that bright and you can see all these white stars. Obviously you can replicate stars with masks, so it will be up to you, and maybe it will give even more convincing appearance, but even these decals, they look quite cool, and it's just a matter of careful application on your model and you will be good to go. Next we continue with figure sprue, so that's the first figure plastic we have here. So let's zoom out a bit. Maybe open the lenses. So now you can see that we have typical 1/35 scale figures, and of course they're pre-shaped, so you won't be able to change the poses much, but I think they look quite nice, and it's just a matter of careful assembly of all these parts together. And maybe we can zoom in so that you can check them a bit closer. There is a minor amount of flash, so be ready to use the sharp knife in order to remove it, but other than that I do not see any possible issues here. Next we continue with sprue with parts for the truck. So here you can see some of the mud guards. We also have some parts for the wheel axles, and everything looks nice. Here you can check them from the opposite side. So this is obviously the part of the headlamp, and as you can see, it is molded as a single piece part, so it will make it easier to use these parts. You won't have to deal with nasty seams in such visible area. And by the way, this sprue is given in 2 pieces because here is another one. Next we continue with a bit larger sprue. So here we have parts for the rear bed of the truck. So let's zoom out a bit, and here you can see it. So overall molding quality seems to be fine here on the truck parts, and the flash was present only on figurines. And here you can check the parts from the opposite side. There are some guiding elements, so it will be relatively easy to combine all these parts together. Just pay attention to which parts should go where, so that you install them in the right way. Next we continue with more panels. In this case, these are separate doors, and obviously this element molded separately hints that you can open it on your build, and it might be handy, especially if you remember that we have figures included, so it might be a good idea to use it for diorama. We have one-piece steering wheel here, also this engine firewall, and if I flip it over, here you can check doors from the inside. By the way, steering wheel has quite nice surface details, so here you can check it. Looks great in my opinion. Okay. Next we continue with chassis bars. Here they are, molded on the separate sprue. As you can see, 2 large parts. Here you can check them from the opposite side. Next we proceed with 2 identical plastic frames. I guess these are minor elements for the suspension, so nothing special. They're quite thin, so it would be good to be a bit more careful with them. It's easy to break thin parts from Miniart, so remember this, let's say. Next we continue with some wooden panels for the rear bed. So here you can see them. I'm not sure about the surface details, so if you are familiar with this type of truck, feel free to write in the comment section how these parts should look like. I mean, whether they have the wooden surface or they have such, let's say, smooth surface, which looks also nice, but I'm not sure if it's up to the original, let's say. Next we continue with a bit of drivetrain parts. So here we have gearbox and engine. So engine is included in a full detailed version, let's say, and it won't be a bad idea to open the bonnet and expose it in case you need it for your diorama. And of course you can also add some wiring, because some of the features are not included here out of the box, and you can add them with help of metal wire which you have in your stock. Next we continue with 2 small frames. So here they are. These are jerry cans and also some Pioneer tools. They're molded in a quite nice quality, so it's just a matter of installing them, maybe painting them before installation, but again, it's up to you how you will approach this operation, let's say. Next we have some of the suspension parts. So here I guess we can zoom in a bit more and you can take a closer look. Attachment points are quite thin, so it won't be difficult to attach to separate these parts of the sprue, and it will be a quite clean cut, so I don't think you have to worry about something. And next we proceed with road wheels. So these ones are quite interesting here because Miniart decided not to use vinyl parts, and that's really cool. We have 2 sprues, and I will show you only one because there is no need to show the same stuff again and again. So here we have plastic parts which you will have to combine together. We have also some features on the tire walls. It's also quite good thing. And of course we have the rear part molded as an empty side. Here you can see it. And that might be handy for your, let's say, painting ideas, because you will be basically painting the central side of the wheel rim without the tire wall. So it will give you a clean finish without using masks. Next, we continue with frames for the rear bed. They're provided on 3 identical plastic sprues. So as you can see, these are typical parts. There is nothing special about them. It's just a matter of careful separation of them of the sprue, because they're relatively thin, so it's better to pay attention to what you're doing. Next, we continue with wooden panels here. So they will be used for the rear bed. As you can see, they're also quite fine, but again, they also feature this plain surface just like the parts we saw a few seconds ago. Next, we proceed with some interior parts. Here it is, it's a dashboard with some of the panels and handles. Also rear view mirror here. And here you can check them from the opposite side. I think the dials in this kit are replicated with decals, so it's also quite good thing. And do not forget to copy some glazing on the dials. Next, we continue with more panels for the front cap. So these ones are roof, also rear wall. Here we have also some parts for the driver's seat and passenger seat. And I'm not sure why we have two front sides, so I guess this one will be useful for the tilted off version, because as far as I remember, this kit offered such possibility. And the final plastic sprue is quite large. Oh, there is one small, just give me a second. First we take a look at this one. So these ones are structural parts, nothing special in my opinion. And next we proceed to the biggest plastic sprue. So here it is. We have also more of the external parts. We have also some bonnet panels, we have wheel axles, we have more of the engine parts, we have spare wheel here, that's the one-piece bonnet, we have fuel tank here, radiator. So all this stuff is placed on this large frame, and as far as I remember, almost all parts will be used in the build, which is rather surprising with Miniart kit, because we are used to see a lot of spare parts in Miniart kits. Next, we continue with assembly manual. So this one is printed as a large color printed brochure. Let's close the lenses a bit and you will be able to see the first cover page with the list of features for this kit. Next, we continue with two marking options. These are typical marking guides for Miniart. So as you can see, they give you a look at all possible sides of this truck, let's say. Next, we continue with the parts map. So parts map does not show any unused parts, and that's why I usually say in the video review that you have to pay attention which parts you are using, because otherwise you might end up with a wrong version of the parts and then you have to fix it somehow. So we start assembly with the main chassis. As you can see, you will have to assemble fuel tank, and straight away you are working with P parts, so be ready for that. We continue with leaf springs, wheel axles, and some other elements which will be installed here and there. And again, drivetrain here is quite detailed. As you can see, a lot of minor elements are also copied, so in 1/35 scale it should look quite impressive. And here we continue working on the engine. So we install it on the main chassis together with a spare wheel. Obviously nobody will be installing a spare wheel on this stage, because it's better to paint it separately. But next, we continue with the front cap. So that was actually the internal insert which copies these internal panels in the front cap. Next, we proceed with exhaust and continue assembling the front cap. Then here you can see it being installed on the chassis. And also we install some bonnet panels as well. Note that manufacturer shows that you can build an open or closed variant of the doors. The same applies to this air vent. And the same applies to this windscreen, as I said before, so you can flip it open. And I think we are safe to say that bonnet can be opened as well, not on this page, because here you're assembling this protecting grille on the front. And here you can see how the bonnet can be opened, so there is a special stand which will hold it in place. Next, we continue with the rear bed. So it's just a matter of assembling separate panels together. We also assemble wheels on this stage. Again, a lot of P parts, surprisingly. And then we install this sub-assembly on the main chassis together with this, let's say, brackets for the tarp. Here, by the way, you can see jerry cans which will be installed behind the front cap. We have figures, assembly and marking guide on the last page, colors chart for figures and truck. Another marking option, so this one is from Brazilian Expeditionary Force in Italy, 1945, and this great truck is actually captured, so it's from summer 1943. So quite interesting mark, and if you would like to replicate it in an unusual color, let's say. So this set should be already available. You can get it on official Modelimex webshop. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such release here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!